Welcome to part two of creating documents with Microsoft Word. In part two, we'll take it a step further. We'll work with an existing document and we want to apply styles and themes. We want to take a look at the different document designs that are available. And along the way, we'll learn how to just kind of change the layout and the appearance of the document as well. So this is what we want to do. Go ahead and click on the link that's in the description. We'll be working from this existing file and we have a task. We need to go ahead and convert this memo into a professional looking document before sending. So what is this memo all about? Well, we are upgrading our time off reporting system and we want to go ahead and send this message out and post it in different places like on a SharePoint site or on our website so that everyone can access. So we can see we just have generic text in here. So our team leader wants us to be able to just convert this into a really nice professional looking document. So this is the beginning product. The end product should look something like this. We can convert it to a PDF. We can see it looks more nice and professional. We have clear sections in the document here. And it's spanning over 2 pages. Because we've converted this to a PDF, it can be read in a browser, and the browser features, at least for Chrome, we can see it has the table of contents here. This allows us to navigate the actual document. So if we're viewing the document here, and I just want to see, well, what are the required actions? Here are the actions here as well, right? So we want to see how we can get from that file to this one. So go ahead and download this file. Just go ahead and click on the archive button here. And go ahead and download this to your computer as a Microsoft Word file. And then we'll go ahead and dive right in. I'll go ahead and download mine. And I can go ahead and open it right from here. So let's go ahead and dive in. I'll go ahead and click on Enable Editing so that I can edit the file offline. The first thing I want to do is delete this. These are just instructions here, so I'll go ahead and delete this up here. So here we go. We have just about 2 pages of content, and we need to make some decisions. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking a look at the styles command group here. So on the home tab, we'll be working with styles. Now styles are basically, these are all pre-formatted types of content. So you may have some has all uppercase, some has a different alignment, or has a line, an accent line, or some has a bigger font or different colors in here as well. So we'll spend some time on here. For example, if I were to highlight the title here and I click on the drop down, you can see we have some of the common different types of text headings. So we have heading 1, heading 2, so heading 3, and heading 4. So heading 1 is the smallest, the biggest. And then when we get down to heading 4, it's the smallest. Here's the title style. So you can see right now, if I hover over the title, I can do that. I'll go ahead and use that actually. I'll just convert this to a title. And there you go. Now, what we want to do is to locate places in the document where we can actually add some heading 1s. So we're going to be converting, whenever we're introducing another section of the document that needs to call attention to itself, we'll use a heading 1. If we have the opportunity to use heading 2s, we can do that as well. Now, the headings are a big deal in Microsoft Word. Once we apply these heading styles to our document, so title, heading 1, 2, 3, and 4, it's going to unlock other features for us when we click on the Design tab. Right? We can see anywhere that we have those styles, we can introduce some document formatting, and it's going to make those styles really pop out on our document. So we want to use those styles. Now I'm going to zoom in just a little bit here. And I'll go ahead and scroll down. Okay, so let's take a look. Let's just first kind of identify the different sections of this document. So right here, we have key features of the new system. So we also have transition timeline, training and support, and then we have action required as well. So those are good candidates for the heading 1 style. So I'll go ahead and highlight key features of the new system, and I'll apply the heading 1 style. There you can see it's clearly introducing another segment or another section, if you will, of this actual document. Now we have the transition timeline. I'll go ahead and highlight that as well. And I'll also go ahead and click on the heading 1. And there you go. So if I were to just scroll up, it's starting to come along here. It's looking pretty nice. We have some clear separation in the actual document. Now I could keep on highlighting text and applying heading 1 in here. There's another tool called the Format Painter, and this is really important when it comes to design. What the Format Painter allows me to do is to select existing text that has formatting, and I can copy the formatting from that chunk of text to another chunk of text as well. As you can see, when you hover over it, it tells you exactly what it does. So I want to copy that heading 1 just to save me a click or two. So I'll go ahead and click on the Format Painter. And now here's my little paintbrush here. And now I can go ahead and just highlight another chunk of text, and you can see it's applying that same formatting. So here's the original formatting, and we can see it's been applied to here because of the Format Painter. Now you can see the Format Painter is gone, so it only allows us to use it one time. If I want to be able to use it multiple times, I can go ahead and I can double click on it. So I'll go ahead and do that. I'm going to undo just to highlight that here. So I'll go ahead and highlight the formatting that I want. So if I double click on the Format Painter, again, it's right there on the bottom. It says, FYI, to apply the formatting in multiple places, double click the Format Painter. I'll go ahead and double click it here. And now I can go ahead and highlight this chunk of text. And I can also go ahead and highlight this chunk of text. And I can keep going if I want to, but that's it. I don't have any other opportunities here to introduce or to utilize the heading 1 style. So once I'm finished, I'll just go ahead and click on the Format Painter so I can start typing again. And there you go. All right, well, let's see what other styles are in here. Now, the first part here is a message. So we want to kind of make this stand out from the rest of the document as well. So I'll highlight that chunk of text and let's see what style I can use in here. So we have subtle emphasis. That looks okay, but it's kind of hard to read on the white background. We have emphasis. So just looking more like an email type of message. We have intense emphasis, strong. So you can see these all have their own type of formatting. Here's intense quote. So this center aligns the text, adds a bar on the bottom, or a line, if you will. And then we have subtle reference. And then we have intense reference. So you can see it capitalizes all of the words, just making it stand out there as well. So I think what I'll do is I'll go for intense emphasis. There we go. Now, here's the subject. I'll go ahead and apply the intense reference to the subject of the message. So there we go. And so that looks pretty good. So the title is styled. We have the subject. We have the message. Now down at the bottom, if you want to get to the end of your document, you can press Control End on your keyboard. If you want to go to the top of the document, you can press Control Home. So I'll just press Control End. And I want to apply, so this is another message here as well. So I want to apply that same emphasis like I did before. So here's the intense emphasis. Okay, pretty good. Okay, so we've applied some basic formatting in here. Now at this point, if you want to, we can change the colors. So here is the first section. Now, once we applied these styles to our document, we've basically unlocked some pretty cool things. The first thing that we've unlocked is the navigation pane. So I'll go ahead and click on the View tab. And on the View tab, here is the navigation pane. So this allows us to navigate our document based on the headings. Now, as you can see, I clicked on the View tab, I turned on the navigation pane, and now I have a navigation pane over here that I can use. So I can navigate the document based on headings. I can view the pages, so I can jump to pages in the document. I can even search. So there's a few things that we can do in here as well. While we're here on the navigation pane, we can also find and or replace different pieces of text in our document as well. So right now, here's my navigation. And because I'm using those heading 1 styles, it's basically creating links to the document. So if I want to see what actions are required, if I click here, it jumps to that place in the document. So those styles, those heading 1, 2, 3, and 4 styles, they will appear in your navigation as long as you use them. For example, if I were to add another quick one here, let's see, I'll just add one right here. So I'll use the mini bar here, and I'll convert this to heading 1, and let's see if that will show up on the navigation pane right away. And as expected, it does, right? So here it is right here. So if I were to convert, let's say, the second line here to the heading 2, what do you think will happen? Well, we should see a level 2 item on the navigation pane. And there you go. So here's the clear level 1, and here's the clear level 2 down here. So it's literally giving us a table of contents or a navigation page that we can use. I'll go ahead and undo those. And I'll leave this one here. Now, if you click on pages, you'll see you can navigate to the different pages of the document here as well, which is pretty cool. So we've unlocked some more features here just by inserting those heading 1 styles. There's some other things that we can do on the design tab, but first what I want to do is I did copy and paste this information from another system. So we have a lot of additional hyphens in here. So I want to get rid of them. I do have hyphens within the body as well. So I need to be careful with what do I want to replace those hyphens with. So what I'm going to do is if I just type the hyphen here, notice how it highlights every single place in the document where that hyphen is being used. So what I want to do is replace them. I'm more concerned about the ones here at the front of those bulleted lists. I want to get rid of these. They just look a little weird. So what I'd like to do is get rid of those. So I'm going to replace them with a space. If I want to replace them, I need to click on the drop down here. And here is the replace option. So it's telling me that there are 21 instances of those hyphens, but I want to replace them with a space. Right. So I'll click here on replace. And here's my hyphen. And what do I want to replace it with? Well, I can replace it with anything. I can replace it with a star if I want to, with a name. I'll just type the space bar. I'll go ahead and click on replace all. It says we've made 21 replacements. You can see those hyphens have disappeared from in front of my bullets here. So that's a really nice feature. I'll go ahead and press OK, and I'll go ahead and close that, and I am good to go. Okay, so we've done a little bit of cleanup here. I'll go ahead and close the navigation pane, and let's just kind of scroll through and see what our document looks like so far. So it's actually looking pretty good. I don't think I want to make any other changes at this point. Maybe add some more color in here. There's nothing wrong with simple colors. We don't have to make this filled with colors in here. But what else can we do? If I click on the design tab, there's some other options that I have in here, right? And again, because I'm using the heading 1 styles, I can apply a document formatting in here. And I'll just give you a quick preview. I'll go ahead and hover over the second one here. And let me zoom in so we can see the changes. So all of these document formattings, these are all based on those headings. So wherever you have headings in your document, it's going to do something special with those headings. Right. So here is just the basic elegant one. So it just makes your document look uniform and organized. Here's the basic stylish. So this one, just some nice splashes of orange in there. And you can just kind of hover over them, but you can see here's a special one, black and white numbered. So this one actually applies numbering to the different places where you actually have those headings, which are pretty cool. So there's lots in here. Here's centered. So this centers aligns all of your headings. Right. Here's lines simple. This is a very nice one as well. Here is the stylish. So this combination of lines with some colors in here. And my favorite is shaded. So here's the shaded one. And some other options in here as well. Okay. I do like the basic stylish, so I'll go ahead and use that one. So this looks pretty good, just like that. All right. Now you may notice right next on your right of document formatting, we have theme colors. So you can actually select your own theme. Now, a theme is basically a set of colors and fonts and effects. So right now I'm using the Office 2007-2010 color scheme, but you can change it. So the design tab is special. So anything that you change here on the design tab, this is universal. So this is how you can make universal changes to your entire document. So let's make a change. We can actually start with a theme. So all the way to the far left, if you just want to use an existing theme, these are the same themes that are available in Word, PowerPoint, Excel, and even Outlook. So you can change the theme. A theme is a set of colors, fonts, and effects. So you have two options. You can make your own by choosing your own color palette. You can even customize your colors. We'll cover that in the advanced course. You can choose your own font that you want to use for the entire document. So notice the entire document is changing as I hover over these fonts. You can select the paragraph spacing for the entire document as well. And you can also choose the effects. The effects are really for graphics like shapes, charts, and tables. Don't really see the effects in here. Well, let's go ahead and choose a theme. So here is let's see, I'm not getting the preview right now. I'm not sure why. All right, I'll go ahead and choose the gallery theme, and you can see the colors have changed and the font has changed here as well. Right. Maybe I don't like that. I want a little more color. Right. So I can just hover over these different themes here. Here's the Berlin theme, right? So it has a little more contrast with the actual colors. And there's quite a few to choose from. The main event is very vivid colors there. I'll go ahead and stick with this one. And now, once I come back here and come back to the document formatting, I have more options to choose from. So here is the centered. Here are the simple lines that I can use. So I can go ahead and change to that one. And so it's just applying all of that to our actual document. So anything design related, you want to come on the design tab. Choosing a theme, choosing a document formatting can significantly improve the professional look and feel of your actual document. Again, if you want to, you can choose your own color palette. If you just want access to different colors, you can choose your own font. So you may want to go ahead and brand your document. You can change the font here. I'll choose the Georgia font for the entire document. That looks pretty good. And for the paragraph spacing, it looks pretty good, but I'll go for more of a tight layout in here. And I'm good to go. So that looks pretty good. Let's see what shaded would look like here with this document. Here's the shaded look. Right. So it's all about how you want to actually format it. So that looks nice. Maybe our company colors are orange and brown and black. So I can go ahead and use this one in here as well. So that looks pretty good. Nice and simple. Only about 3 colors are being used, so it's not overwhelming. Now, I do want to just kind of take a look at the layout options in here, because you can see the action required is on page 1 and on page 2. So to do that, to push this down, so to push this chunk of text down to the next page, I can insert a page break, or I can just press the enter key a few times. If I press the enter key a few times, you can see it pushes it down to the next page, but it's leaving some formatting up here. So what I want to do is just place my cursor right before the chunk of text that I want to move. And if I click on the Insert tab, here is a page break. So this will end the current page here and move the content to the next page. You can also press Control Enter. You can see the shortcut right there. So that pushes the action required down to the next page. I'll create a little space in here for the rest of the message, and I'm good to go. So that looks pretty good. Now, other things that we can do, if I click on the Layout tab here, there's some other things that I can do. I can change the margins, I can change the orientation of the document, and I can go ahead and change the paper size as well. The rest of these are more for the advanced course. So I'll go ahead and change the margins. Now the margins, you can see right now, we're not allowed to use that space on the left and that space on the right. So those are margins. They're invisible. We can't see them. They're really meant for printing. So we cannot really use that space in there. I do want to be able to use more of that space though. There's no reason for us not to take up more of that space. So what I want to do is click on the margins drop down here, and you can see it's using that default margin. If I choose, so I'll choose normal, which is 1 inch. And you can see we're using more of the margin now. And it's making my document a little smaller. I'll go ahead and use the 1/2 inch margin. And there you go. So now we're using up a lot of the document, a lot of the space on the left and the right. And because we use the page break, we're still on page 2. I should be able to move this content up. I could make it fit on there, but I'm okay. Other things to do, if you do want to fit everything on one page, I can change the paper size. Let's say to legal. So now I have a little more space, and I can just simply press the delete key here, and that will pull up the content. So now all of my content is only on one page. So if you can fit your content on one page, go ahead and do that. Not really concerned about the paper size because I'm not intending to print this. I want to go ahead and convert this to a PDF. Finally, if you want to change the orientation, have it more like a modern wide view, you can change this to landscape. And you can see it has a more wide orientation. You typically want to do this when you are working with visuals. So big images, tables, and charts, you want to use the landscape orientation for that. But we're good to go here. I'll go back to the portrait orientation. Everything is still on one page, so I'm good to go. Here's some other benefits of using these styles. If you notice, when I move next to a chunk of text that has a style, I have a little button here that I can click on, and this can basically collapse all of the content that's underneath that header. And so look at that. This is pretty cool. So I can roll up my entire document like that. So here's one view. And then to open them, I can just simply expand the views like that, which is pretty cool. Let's see, if I right click, I can expand or collapse all of the headings. So I'll go ahead and do that. So some really, really nice options in here that's a bit available for us. I'm going to go back to the design tab. Some other things that we can do here, if you want to change the page color, you can do so. So for example, here's what the page would look like if the background was black, and some other colors in here that you can use. So feel free to apply a page color to the actual document. But I'm good to go. I like the way this looks. So what I want to do now is I want to go ahead and save this as a PDF. So to do that, I can click on the File tab, and I can click on Export, and I want to create a PDF from this file. So I'll click on Create PDF, and I'll just leave this as, I'll replace this one. So I'll call this the PDF of the system upgrade. I can click on Options here. And some of the options you want to make sure you turned on. Make sure that you are creating bookmarks using the headings. Typically, this is unchecked. So make sure you utilize this feature. You can also encrypt the document with a password if you want to, which is pretty cool. But I'm good to go. Printing all the pages. I do want to see the document once I have published it here. I'll go ahead and press OK. And I'll click on Publish. I'll go ahead and replace that existing file. And let's see. So this is what it looks like. So here's the PDF version of that file. If I were to click on the table of contents here, I can jump either from one page to the next. I only have one page in here, but here's the table of contents. So those headings are navigable as well, even in PDF form. So that is pretty cool. So go ahead and open up that file. Go ahead and rewind the video, pause as necessary. Choose your own styles, choose your own theme, choose your document formatting. Go ahead and choose your own colors, choose your own fonts as well, and have fun.